At least 5 people have been injured after Russian forces launched 2 missile attacks on the southern city of Mykolaiv earlier today. According to reports from the Kyiv Independent, the missiles struck the city consecutively around 2 p.m. local time. The regional governor, Vitaly Kim, has stated that the injuries sustained by the victims are not critical. However, this incident follows a previous strike by Russia on Odessa on March 15, which resulted in the loss of 21 lives, marking Moscow's deadliest attack in weeks. Meanwhile, in the Belgorod region of Russia, Ukrainian shelling has caused 12 casualties, including 1 fatality. The region has been affected by Ukrainian drone incursions, with the Russian Defense Ministry reporting approximately 35 such incidents on Sunday morning. These incursions have also extended to the Kursk and Rostov regions, which share borders with Ukraine. The regional governor of Belgorod, Vyacheslav Gladkov, confirmed the casualties and revealed that a 16-year-old girl lost her life in a separate shelling incident. As the ongoing presidential election unfolds, Vladimir Putin is expected to further consolidate his power. However, opponents have staged symbolic noon protests at polling stations, and the voting process has been marred by Ukrainian bombardments and anti-Putin sabotage groups infiltrating Russian territory. British Defense Secretary Grant Shapps was compelled to abort a visit to Odessa, a southern city in Ukraine, due to an imminent Russian missile threat. While en route to Poland last week, Shapps received a notification that a convoy transporting both the Ukrainian president and the Greek prime minister had narrowly evaded a Russian missile strike. In a separate development, Ukraine's gross domestic product, GDP, has surged by 3.6% during the initial 2 months of this year. According to Yulia Sviridenko, the country's economy minister, this growth is attributed to several factors, including heightened investment demand and robust agricultural exports. However, the prospects for peace remain contentious. Czech President Petr Pavel asserts that all Russian proposals for peace are fundamentally centered around perpetuating Ukrainian subjugation. In his view, the Kremlin's proposals thus far amount to a diktat, an imposition rather than a genuine negotiation. As the Russian presidential election unfolds, voter participation has exceeded the levels observed in 2018. According to the TASS news agency, 67.54% of eligible voters had cast their ballots as of Sunday morning, surpassing the 67.5% turnout recorded in the previous election. Meanwhile, long-range attack drones have significantly impacted Russian oil refineries during the ongoing conflict. According to a Ukrainian intelligence source, these drones have struck 12 Russian oil refineries. The Russian Defense Ministry has officially confirmed a total of 35 Ukrainian drone incursions across various regions. Among these, 4 occurred in the Moscow region, and 2 were reported in the neighboring Kaluga and Yaroslavl regions. Ukrainian drones have intensified their attacks on the Belgorod, Kursk, and Rostov regions, all of which border Ukraine. Additionally, the southern Krasnodar region has also been targeted. The growth of Ukraine's gross domestic product, GDP, during the initial 2 months of this year has been remarkable, driven by a combination of factors, including investment demand, favorable weather conditions for construction, agricultural exports, and the efficient operation of the Ukrainian Sea Corridor. The economy has expanded by 3.6%. These encouraging trends are supported by the expansion of production capacity in the mining industry and stability in the energy sector. Economy Minister Yulia Sviridenko shared this positive outlook on Facebook, emphasizing that key sectors of the economy are performing well. As a result, sustainable growth is anticipated throughout the entire first quarter. Notably, Ukraine's GDP had already risen by 3.5% in January, following a 5% growth in 2023 after the significant 28.8% decline in the previous year. In a separate development, British Defense Secretary Grant Shapps faced a security threat during his planned visit to Odessa, a southern Ukrainian city. The Kremlin became aware of his travel plans, leading to the cancellation of the trip. An armored convoy carrying both the Ukrainian president and the Greek prime minister narrowly escaped a Russian missile strike while visiting Odessa on March 6. Consequently, Shapps altered his itinerary, arriving in Kyiv the following day for talks with President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. The planned onward journey to Odessa was subsequently called off. Meanwhile, the self-proclaimed independent state of South Ossetia has reportedly discussed the possibility of becoming part of Russia, according to the Russian news agency RA. This development adds to the geopolitical complexities in the region. Certainly, here's a rephrased and elaborated version of the provided information. South Ossetia's struggle for independence and Russia's recognition. In the early 1990s, South Ossetia, a region within Georgia, declared its independence from Georgian rule after a war that lasted from 1991 to 1992. This breakaway state, along with another separatist region called Abkhazia, sought recognition on the international stage. However, it wasn't until 2008 that Russia officially recognized both South Ossetia and Abkhazia as independent entities. The pivotal moment came during the Russo-Georgian War in 2008. Georgian forces attempted to retake South Ossetia, leading to a 5-day conflict. Russian troops intervened and successfully repelled the Georgian offensive. In the aftermath, Russia formally acknowledged the sovereignty of South Ossetia and Abkhazia, a move that further strained relations between Russia and Georgia. Recently, there have been discussions within South Ossetia about potentially becoming part of Russia. Alan Albarov, the chairman of South Ossetia's parliament, confirmed these talks. The two regions together constitute a significant portion of Georgia's territory, and their potential integration into Russia would have far-reaching implications. Putin's quest for power and the Ukrainian conflict. Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, has been at the center of controversy and geopolitical tensions. His actions, including the invasion of Ukraine, reveal a man seemingly detached from political and military realities. Putin's obsession with restoring a pre-Soviet imperial Russia and countering perceived Western influence drives his quest for dominance. In the ongoing Russian election, Putin is expected to secure a landslide victory. However, this outcome is facilitated by several factors. First, there are no credible rivals challenging him. Second, massive spending on propaganda and vote-fixing in occupied Ukrainian territories has skewed the electoral process. Lastly, Putin's unopposed nationwide campaigning has solidified his position. Despite the ongoing conflict, Russia has proposed peace negotiations with Ukraine. However, Czech President Petr Pavel asserts that these proposals amount to a diktat. Essentially, Russia's terms revolve around maintaining Ukrainian subjugation, making genuine peace negotiations nearly impossible.